Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy. With me is Joe and Robert. Let's see, Kate and Nick should be joining us real soon. She told me that her daughter had some kind of like a slight fever, but so hopefully she gets better soon. Uh, so let me just catch up with comments here. Let's see. Hey, Thomas, good to see you. Hey, Billy, thanks for tuning in. So tonight,
Next on Nick Time.
yeah, he's on his own time. Oh, here, actually, no, here he is.
Oh, wow. That's a first.
Think your mic is off, Nick.
Yeah, I just noticed. What's up, guys?
Hey, all right.
um, I only just came on here just for a minute just to check on everything. I'm almost done with the exercise, so I'll be right back on in less than 10 minutes. So I just
Okay.
wanted to tuck in real quick. So
It's about
I'll
20
be back
minutes
after
Nick
these.
time.
I'll be back after these messages.
What messages? This is live.
Well, you'll have messages to speak of. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Messages. Okay. So tonight we're covering an absolute gem. This is one of my all-time favorite sequels, one of my all-time favorite James Cameron movies, and it is Aliens, the sequel to my all-time favorite horror movie, Alien. And let's see. Yes, I couldn't agree more, Billy. It's his second best sequel, second only to Terminator 2. Now that is a sequel. Yeah, this like basically this was coming out at around the time where James Cameron, where he was really getting a good career off the ground, making a name for himself. Because 2 years before this, he did the Terminator. Yeah. Oh, Joe, is the mic on? Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say, is your mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Should be.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Aliens. This takes place 57 years after the events from the first movie, where Ripley had like narrowly escaped the Nostromo and defeated the alien, and uh, and then she is rescued and brought back to Earth, only to hear that an outpost had been set up on the planet that she had been on when her crew encountered the alien, and to discover that a whole bunch of new aliens have taken control of that outpost. And so she teams up with a bunch of space marines to go take them down.
It's funny, though. 57 years and she didn't age a day.
Yeah, that's part of hypersleep. It's like basically suspended animation. And it's like, oh man, can you even imagine, going in suspended animation and like basically like frozen in time, and then you come back for like 50, maybe even 100 years from now, and just see how much the world has changed, and basically how everybody you knew was gone. It's like, man,
That'd be pretty rough. And you didn't, and when you look in the mirror, you didn't age a day, you know.
exactly.
So
Or
you got that much more time to live knowing everybody's gone that you ever knew.
yeah, I mean, it's just like kept like even the MCU has explored this. Captain America, being frozen in that ice since World War
Yeah.
II and then waking up.
I never thought about that.
And despite it being James Cameron and being an action movie, it still kept the horror elements and themes. Oh yes, I would think so. Yes,
Oh,
it,
yeah, it had a few good jump scares, too.
it did. Yeah, so it basically has the same concept, only instead of one alien, it's aliens, a whole bunch, a whole
An infestation.
big infestation. Hey Braxton, good to see you. And let's see. Yeah, hopefully everybody has having much better weather than we are, because right now outside it's 2 degrees below zero. Earlier today it was below 9 degrees below zero. Yeah, we've had a really big wind chill. Man, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's 3 degrees below zero. I don't know what the wind chill is, but I know out here where I'm at, it's all open, so the winds can really whip pretty good because there's nothing really blocking them.
hmm that's right. Hey Braxton, what's up? Oh yeah, let's not forget. Yeah, Blake. Oh wait, Blake. Okay, I think he means Burke, the main villain, the human villain of this movie. Yeah, it's like, yeah, lots of people kind of complained about like Hudson being annoying, but Burke was just an absolute coward. He demonstrated that right in the end of the film.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had ulterior motives. It was all about this.
Yep, it's all about the money.
Money, money, money.
Yep, that's all. Yeah, that's another element of this film that it's the same as from the first movie. You know that it's all about corruption and like the company Wayland Yutani is focused on profiting and weaponizing the alien creatures. And then Burke ended up just being motivated by that until the very end when he and just ditched everybody, left them for dead, and just focused on his own survival. Was the Marines and Ripley? Oh, you mean Burke? Yeah, he keeps saying yeah, that's what you mean Burke. I'm guessing Blake was a typo. Yeah, but I like how this introduced the whole concept of space marines, which would be later used become like a staple of the sci-fi genre. You see this in all sorts of things. Like let's see, in Doom, you play as like a space marine, the Doom guy. Let's see, Starship Troopers, oh, and also Halo. Yeah, the Master Chief. Yeah, like this really. Oh, hey, Robert.
Uh,
You've been missing for a bit.
yep. I
They
was
were in
making
Avatar too with those mechs.
Yes, those machines. They also base those on what you see in Aliens. The power loader that Ripley
Yeah,
uses.
it's like it reminded me of from a game. I think the game was called Mech Warrior or Mech something.
I see. I think I know what that is. Yeah, that game. I
It
think
was
Doom
like a
was.
mass multiplayer game for a while.
Yeah. Oh yes, I agree. Heather, Doom is an absolute classic. It's basically the granddaddy of first-person shooters. Yeah. Oh, and here, Billy said I think Doom was originally supposed to be an Aliens game. I believe they said the same thing about that other classic game. What was that? Contra. Yeah, like I mean, think about it. The monsters in them are very similar to the xenomorphs and the face huggers and chest bursters. Yeah, all that.
Contra. Up, up, down, down, left, right, select.
AB, AB.
Yeah, A B, select, start, or something.
Yeah, and so yeah, it really adapted a lot to. Oh wait, here, Don, are you aware that this is a Disney movie now? Yeah,
Yeah.
Disney does technically own the rights.
To
Yeah,
what, aliens?
yeah,
Yeah.
they bought
Oh,
Fox,
jeez.
so
So the Disney Queen is a princess now.
the Alien Queen is now a
Alien
Disney.
Queen. Alien Queen is now Disney princess. Yeah.
The Alien Queen is a Disney princess.
Let's let her go about catching birds with
Oh
her
my
hands.
god. Oh, hey Kate.
Okay.
Yeah. How's everything?
Apologies. Yeah, good. Apologies. A little bit late. The weather today is insane. I
I
feel like
know.
everyone's getting sick and
Yeah, I'm sipping away
crazy.
hot cocoa as we speak.
I've been sick
Yeah.
since Christmas
I
morning.
swear Nick was just here. Where did he go?
He wanted to finish. He wanted to finish up his exercise.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought I just imagined it and I was like, I'm sure I just saw Nick here, but no.
yeah. He
You
always
didn't
has a
binge.
reason to be late. Oh, here yeah, Disney's taking over everything. Billy, what do you expect?
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we were just discussing, Kate, that how much of an influence this film has had, not just in horror, but in sci-fi, in the sci-fi genre with other franchises. Like it
Mm,
basically introduced the whole concept of space marines, which led to
mm.
which played a huge role in Halo.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. So I haven't seen the film. I've seen all the other Alien movies, but I really want to see this one because
What,
it's James Cameron
yeah.
who
Yeah. Wait.
directed
Wait.
it.
Hold up. Let me. I'm trying to process this. You saw all the other Alien movies except for this one.
Yeah.
You've missed out. This is way.
I know.
This is definitely better than Alien 3. I will say that, and way
Oh
better
yeah,
than
that
Alien
was
Resurrection. Yes.
okay. Okay,
And
that's good to know. That's positive.
oh yes, and this also it's funny. Like some of the people who are in this either had previously worked with James Cameron or appeared in later films afterward. Like
Oh.
let's see. There was Lance Henriksen, who played Bishop in Alien. He was in Aliens. Yeah, he was played a police kind of sergeant in Terminator, and he was also
Hmm.
in. He would also play the police chief in Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What year was Aliens?
Aliens was 1986. Terminator was 84. Piranha 2 was 1981.
So this is like pre-Titanic, and
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, was Leonardo DiCaprio
That
in
was a
it.
pretty good year, 1986. I was finally
Yeah.
out of high school.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jay's lived it. He's lived all through the 80s. Hi, Thomas. I'm good. How are you? Just cold. It's so cold here.
Yeah, it was 9 degrees below zero this morning. So
I
yeah,
believe it. Oh
it's
my
bad.
gosh. I couldn't even breathe. I was like,
Oh
so
man,
cold.
I had to have a face warmer and everything on. Let's see, Braxton. Oh yeah, you. I mean, I'm sorry that you can't have you on the panel. This is for members of Things Network only. Sorry to say, but you're free to but hey, you're part of this in the comments.
Yeah, totally.
I got my own face warmer. So keeps me warm.
You see, that's what I'm missing. I need a beard. I need to
Yeah,
grow a beard.
yeah. Well, it's not like a face
Use
warmer.
my
It's like
hair.
here. I think I took a selfie earlier of it. Hang on.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it
If
works.
Back in 2020, when they had all the regulations on having to wear masks, I bought one of the facehuggers masks.
Did you? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right. I did see those on sale online once before.
I bet people were terrified of you, Robert. I bet they were
Well, I could
avoiding
never get it
you.
on because it wouldn't stay on. For some
Oh,
reason,
Oh,
the hooks wouldn't go over the ears.
oh, that's
uh,
annoying.
oh yeah. And so personally, I love this film like for like introducing, like I said, the Space Marines, but also like another. Let's see. Oh, and one other aspect that Halo also took from was the motion sensors that they were using to like try to look for xenomorphs. They use the exact same thing when you play Halo.
Bit of copying going on there then.
Well, yeah, copying. Well, I mean, yeah, aliens influenced a whole lot. Like, and also introduced the alien queen in this. I mean, and the reason why James Cameron James Cameron came up with the idea himself. He was just like, like I'm introducing. It's like I'm making a movie where there's not just one xenomorph, but a whole bunch of them. But that's still not enough. I want to really give this thing more kick. So he decided to come up with a leader of the alien group, and also give an explanation as to the xenomorphs reproducing, like where the eggs come from.
Right.
Yeah, and so and because of that, he introduced this. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this. Okay.
Yeah, so that Alien Queen, yeah, like a lot of serious work went into it. Like, so like what happened? How they operated this thing? Like it was like a 14-foot tall model that was made from aluminum, fiberglass, and steel. And its face was controlled by a bunch of cables, and a bunch of puppeteers moved certain parts of him. Like, let's see, there were two stuntmen who operated like the arms, four different arms that thing had through overhead crane, and yeah, like this thing was like incredibly complex.
Wow. Isn't that amazing though? I much prefer something tangible like this than all of the CGI that they've got now.
Well, yeah,
Like,
it looked more realistic back
yeah,
then.
it's terrifying. Can you imagine? And also for the actors as well. They have something to go by. It's not all of this imagination CGI thingy.
Oh yeah, it's like yeah, that's gotta be hard for some actors like when they're involved in a movie where it's dependent on CGI. It's like you don't know what that thing looks like and what expression it's making. Like it's
Yeah.
approaching you, so you don't know how to react. It can be complicated for sometimes.
Yeah, far more natural that way. That's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, and let's see, was Jim Henson involved? I don't think so. Yeah, I think Jim Henson was still doing was focusing on Sesame Street and the Muppets. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually found the Muppets quite scary when I was younger. Fun fact. I thought they were quite scary, especially in Treasure Island.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know why I was scared of puppets.
I got you. Well, you definitely be scared of what his company made years later in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah, totally.
That was them. And let's see. Oh, one cast member that was in this, that was also in Terminator, was Bill Paxton, who played Private Hudson in this. And let's see, he was also in, yeah, like, he was also in Predator 2, where he played Jerry Lambert. So that means Basically, that Bill Paxton is the only actor who has been killed by a Terminator, a xenomorph, and a Predator.
Wow. He should have a trophy for that.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Too
Yeah.
bad he passed away.
Yeah, I know. I was
It's
shocked when he.
sad.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was shocked. Yeah.
great actor. I love his work.
Oh, here, Ripley woke up. Yeah, that's right. Well, 57 years later, but yeah, it was a long time. It's like, yeah, the whole
Wow.
concept, Kate, is that it takes place 57 years after the original because Ripley was still stuck in like hypersleep after defeating the alien. And basically, in hypersleep, you're like in suspended animation. You don't age, nothing. It's like, can you even imagine could you even imagine being frozen for 57 years and then waking up finding it out not only that the world has changed but everything you know is gone. Like she finds
Wow.
yeah, she discovers that her daughter had died 2 years before she woke up.
Oh, that's awful.
And that planet
Yeah.
she was on is now inhabited by thousands of those aliens.
Yep. And then not only that, but the company Weyland Yutani had set up like a terraforming outpost on that planet to make the air breathable and create civilization, and
Mm.
asked them to investigate that alien ship, where they came across the eggs, and all hell breaks loose.
It's like she had
Wow.
no chance to warn them.
None.
And when she did, they just ignored it.
Hey,
When
Josh.
she did try to ignore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Josh. Hi, Josh. How are you? I was watching the show the other day. It's awesome.
What show does he do?
Through the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, yeah. I think one of you guys was talking about that. Yes. I'll have to check
Yeah.
that out
Yeah, I was talking about it on Sunday. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
here.
good.
Yeah, Heather. That's right. He was work. Jim Henson was working on Labyrinth at the time this movie was made.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get me started about David Bowie. Don't.
Or his sock.
Yeah.
His sock. Yes. It was a great film, though. I really liked it.
Oh, look who's finally here.
What's up, guys?
Yo, it's Pickle Nick.
Hello, Nick.
And this time I'm officially staying, so I'm not going
Okay,
in.
yeah. I said to Don, I was like, I swear Nick was just here.
Yeah,
And then
he just felt like working out right before the show starts.
I had a lot going on today. I had to take in a few phone calls, and also we had Madeline over. She ended up staying a lot later than she usually would, so it kind of had to push
Aw.
back a lot. She was down here in the basement for quite a while. She was at one point going through my scary stories books. I'm like, wait, no, don't. It's not that I didn't want her to see it because of how scary they look. It's because I didn't want her messing it up because it was all organized.
I got you.
She's
Oh,
Madeline,
here,
I still love her either way.
here, Brexton says one story I made up for a class assignment in high school takes place in the year 90,001,
That already reminds me.
90th,
Wow.
90th century. Oh my god!
I was just thinking to myself, that just reminded me
Wow.
like of that Futurama episode when they had the time machine.
Oh
And
yeah,
105, 105. Then there was 20, 25, 25, 25, and the future year that ends with a 20.
Wow.
I
That would
remember
be
that.
awesome to read, Braxton. Is there a way you can post it online or something? That would be so interesting. I can imagine it's something like dystopian future, June, something like that.
Yeah, and
Yes,
expand on it. Yeah.
Like I said, the
Yeah.
closest thing that's ever happened to something like that was something involving Futurama. I can't think of anything else.
Right. Yeah. And so, Nick, we were just, we've been discussing how this film served as a heavy influence in sci-fi overall, including also, I believe I mentioned this before, but Ripley, the character that Sigourney Weaver plays, she also serves as the inspiration for Samus Aran in Metroid.
Oh, really? I
Oh,
didn't know anything about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and when people first played Metroid, they just expected. Hold on, let me just show you guys this. Here, in that game you always play as this right here. Hang on, add the scene. Here we go.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's Samus as she's introduced into the game, but nobody ever expects Samus to be a woman. Like, oh, playing as this guy, but then it's revealed in the ending. And because here's what she looks like without that armor.
nice.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Samus, one of my favorite female video game characters. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's right up there with Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Strong women.
Yeah, a strong female lead. Yes, that's right.
She reminds me of the character that's in Wreck-It Ralph and who Felix falls in love with, like the Halo rip-off game. Have you guys seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Not in a long time, but I know
Okay.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah,
It turns out I was right, by the way, what Braxton had said. Yeah, it took some inspiration from The Fifth Element, Futurama, Star Wars, and Lost in Space.
Yep, I have
So
those.
Oh, I
I was,
love
I
Lost
was
in
right.
Space. I love it so much. I actually really liked the reboot they did on Netflix. I thought it was pretty good.
Never in my life have seen her without her battle armor. Oh yeah, that's how she appears
Mm.
in the Super Smash Brothers games. Like you have the option of having her in the armor and without it in the
She's
Zero
in
suit.
Super Smash.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you could like hear her voice too. You know, she's. But let's see. Both
Nice.
Ripley and Samus build like some interesting. Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, this like I said, Nick, this film introduces the alien queen, who yeah, like they basically James Cameron wanted to introduce that for many reasons. One of them being explaining how where the eggs came from.
Which I like the idea that the Queen is, first of all, a lot more different, certainly a lot more bigger, very intimidating and frightening looking, and obviously trying to give that, stay true to its name. It's interesting how she has kind of that crescent shaped head that
Yeah.
looks like a crown
Yeah,
compared to the warrior xenomorphs that are just more kind of long, elongated and roundish.
Kind
And
of kind of like Sauron.
yeah, like
yeah
it
kind of.
really shows. It almost like shows like her. To me, in a way, it's almost like it's not just almost representing a crown, but almost like it's showing her
Mm.
rank in the
Hmm.
society.
Yes.
That she's a
Royalty.
leader.
What Robert?
I said her royalty.
Her
Her
royalty.
royalty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
and I managed to pick up a set of the Dark Horse comics of Aliens, and on the back of them, of the four that I got, I can't remember if it was Colonial Marines or what, but it had the big four spread picture of the Alien Queen on it. And that was really cool. That was back in the 90s, I think.
Do you have a picture of it?
Let me see if I can
No,
find it.
I was just trying to find it, but I couldn't. But
Yeah.
well,
yeah,
here's another thing I wanted to point out too while you're looking, Don, is that another big characteristic of the alien queen compared to the warriors is that I see that she has more than one set of limbs. Like she's got like multiple limbs. Like what is it? Like 4 or 6 arms? I think
I
it.
No,
think
four.
six.
It's 4 arms.
4 of them. Okay,
Four.
4. And then I also noticed that unlike the lower ranking ones, it doesn't look like, from what I've seen, is that doesn't look like she doesn't have that double mouth like the
Here's the
warrior.
comment.
Did you guys?
Oh.
Well, she actually does have the double mouth when she reveals it when she's attacking Ripley in that power loader.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because I remember there were some versions of the Alien Queen without that
Hmm.
tongue, but I guess since this was the first, I guess they kept up with the tradition of the original design of the xenomorph.
Hmm. Also, this introduced alien soldiers. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
higher rank than the alien drone, which we saw in the first movie. That's what that was, a drone.
That's
And
also you put out another good um, reminder too, because when you really think about between both movies, is that in the original, yeah, very, that's right. Heather makes a good point. The Queen does kind of have a little bit of insect like traits compared to the soldiers and drones. Um, sorry, just reading what Braxton said. Yeah, I just remember I also used some ideal elements from the, how do you say that, Don?
Eon Flux.
Eon Flux. I was going to butcher if I didn't say it right. Filming game. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But what I was also going to say was, another interesting note about this movie is that, like, in the original Alien film, I think we could all agree that having one xenomorph in that movie was pretty terrifying, but it didn't really have a full advantage because it was just a single individual. You could escape it. The alien wasn't everywhere. In
Right.
this movie, because you're dealing with hundreds of them in addition to the queen, it shows that they were everywhere. There was no escape from them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, sure, you can shoot them, but there's always going to be more of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
unlike the first movie where you couldn't shoot them because you were on a ship and their acid blood could leak through the hull.
but either way, you were able to, it was just one individual. You could escape one, but if you got hundreds all around us, basically a swarm of them, you were as good as dead. I mean, it was over for you at that point.
Yeah. And to answer your question, hang on, I'm trying to look for this. Hold on, Billy. Like you asked that question earlier, I wanted to get to, but we had to look at some. We had to look at Nick's other comments. Yeah, Ridley Scott. At first, he despised the film, but then he just warmed up to it. Yeah, Ridley Scott, who directed the original.
It's not surprising. Usually, a lot of directors, when they see sequels of their movies being made, a lot of them tend to dislike them at first, but eventually they change their minds as the years go by.
Right. And let's see. One of the comments about the characters here. Let's see. So Sigourney Weaver returns as Ellen Ripley, and she was actually nominated for an Academy Award for her performance in this film. Yeah, for
She's
best.
a good actress.
Really well done.
Great actress. But let's see. She didn't, unfortunately, she didn't win that. But this film did win 2 other Oscars for best visual effects and best sound editing, best sound effects editing. And let's see. Oh, Michael Biehn, who played Kyle Reese in Terminator, stars in this as Corporal Hicks. And there's a bit of attraction between Ripley and Hicks as the film goes on. I always like that. Let's see. Oh, we should mention the character Newt, played by Carrie Henn, when she was 10 years old. Let's see. And this was the only film she starred in. Yeah, after this, she just turned away from the spotlight and just focused on having a normal childhood and wanting to pursue becoming a teacher. And it's like, I know this may seem a little strange at first, like a lot of people think, oh, this girl had potential. Why'd she turn away from it? But just remember, this is not the first time we've ever seen a child actor who did put in an amazing performance, but then moved on to do other things, something else in life aside from acting. Yeah, because if you look at think back to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Peter Ostrom, who played Charlie Bucket, he only starred in just that movie, but then took another path in life to become a veterinarian.
Yep. And there was also what was her name? She was in several movies throughout the early mid '90s. Well, no, excuse me, throughout the '90s and early 2000s. I can't remember her name, but I know she was in that movie. She was in Matilda. She was Matilda in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I know who you mean.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
What
she
her
was
name?
throughout her
Wilson.
childhood. She starred in several movies in addition to that one, and then by around 2000, she stopped. Although interestingly, about 6, 7, maybe almost 8 or 9 years ago now, she did make an appearance in I think it was some movie or some television series that obviously was her debut as an adult, but prior to that, she just disappeared also from the spotlight for several years.
Mara Wilson, that's her name.
Yeah, Mara Wilson. You're right.
Yeah. And let's see. Also, there was Bill Paxton who played Hudson, Private Hudson. Yeah, like
I love Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Yes, God rest his soul. Yeah, we were just discussing earlier, Nick, that Bill Paxton is officially the only actor who played a character's who's been basically the only actor who's been killed off by a Terminator, a Xenomorph, and a Predator.
That's right. Yeah, he's just not having. He just can't get enough of dying throughout the '80s. Put it this way, Don. The '80s killed him.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over. What are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do? Maybe we can build a fire, sing a couple of songs. Why don't we try that, huh?
Yeah.
I just love that. It's
so
damn funny.
Yeah, there's like you just reminded me. There's this one actor, British actor who oh man, his name is Sean Bean, and I always refer to him as the British actor who makes a living out of dying in movies. Like yeah, he died as a James Bond.
Yeah.
Yep, he died as a James Bond villain in GoldenEye. He's played characters who've been killed off in both Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
He's a
who else
legend,
has done?
though.
Oh, but he's great. I like him.
He's
You know who
so
else has
cool.
done that too, Don? Is I know he's been a director and an actor. Is Larry Festin?
Very
He always appears in movies all the time. He was in for it's been a while. He was in if you remember that movie You're Next, the
Yep.
guy who was killed at the beginning.
Right.
That's Larry Festin, and that's like a trademark of him. He always appears in movies, like usually right at the beginning. He always gets killed as a result of either at the beginning or halfway through the movie. He never survives.
Mhm. Right. And a lot of people over the years have complained about Hudson being an annoying character in this movie. Said like starting off as like overconfident and like had like who had too much faith in himself and was like
Mm.
just really full of himself. And then as the situation became dire, he just was really falling apart, like complaining all the time, being so whiny. But then he here's the thing. He picked himself. He basically got his act together and just like started fighting again when he needed to. And I'm telling people, you know what? Say what you want about Hudson, about his annoying nature that he had throughout most of the movie, but at least when he died, he went down as a soldier.
That's right.
He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
He definitely did. Because in the end, he still was in a way trying to make a sacrifice.
Yep. Oh, Braxton, I agree. Tina
GoldenEye.
Turner, her performance was amazing for GoldenEye. Yeah, and
Iconic.
yes, yeah, I love the movie. I love the game. I love everything about GoldenEye.
I was just playing that game just a few days ago.
Oh, I still got my physical copy over there on the shelf.
Me too. That along with Perfect Dark.
I have that too.
Yep.
Nice. Oh yeah, that along with Resident Evil 2 over there. But anyway, so yeah, like there's one character that who was basically the human villain in this. Let's see, Burke. Let's see. I haven't seen the actor Paul Reiser. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right.
Reiser.
Reiser, yes.
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser, yes. I've seen him recently in season 4 of Stranger Things.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, who does he play?
Let's see. He plays a character that works with the doctor who helps Levin.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't catch his name because his character was kind of brief in that season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's best known for that series he did with Helen Hunt, Mad About You.
Oh, Mad About You. I didn't see that.
Oh.
That's what he's best known for, though, Paul Reiser.
Oh, that's right. He was in the Beverly Hills Cop movies. I could have sworn I saw him somewhere else.
Well,
Yes.
it's interesting you point that out too, because I was just thinking when you said about Helen Hunt, and then not to mention we just mentioned about Bill Paxton. Obviously, as we all know,
Twister.
He starred in Twister with Helen.
Twister.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and also, yeah, Jeanette Goldstein in this also played Private Vasquez, and I just love how she was introduced in this. Like Hudson was like making fun of her, saying like because she looked kind of like somewhat masculine in this film, and she was like, "Hey, he's just telling her, hey, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man?" And she's like, "No, have you?"
I love that part. That was so right on.
Oh yeah, burned him. And I like how she appeared in other James Cameron movies. Like she was in let's see, Terminator 2. She played like it was a bit part playing John Connor's foster mom, Janelle. That was her name. And oh, Nick, where'd you go?
I'm back.
Okay,
I just had to plug in my laptop.
dude. every single time.
Okay. In my defense, I have not
there.
been.
There is no excuse. You've been. This happens more than enough times for you to know. Maybe you should have it plugged in the whole time. Look, let's see. Yeah, you see this right here? Hang on.
You know it's a pet peeve of Don. Come on.
Come on. Plug your laptop in. Come on.
Do this. Always have it plugged in. I always do.
Well,
so, for this exact purpose. Anyway. Okay. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, Jeanette Goldstein. She was and let's see, Terminator 2, and she was also in Titanic. She plays like that the poor Irish mom of the kids who it was a pretty emotional scene. Like in the ending, like like near the end of the film when the ship was going down, she was putting the kids to bed and like trying to comfort them, saying, "Oh, we're gonna get off soon." They're just they're putting everybody on the boats. So we'll be off soon, but no. they pretty much perished.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
awful.
yeah, it's like she
Yeah.
played. Yeah, but she's amazing. That's just amazing to me how she played two different like character like these different characters who have different nationalities. Like like
Mm,
clearly in Aliens she was playing a Hispanic character, but in Titanic she was playing an Irish person. So, but yeah, it was the
Oh,
same actress.
it's interesting.
mm.
And again, Bill Paxton was also later in Titanic.
Yep, that's right.
Well, that's what I like about this movie too, is that not just the movie itself, it just
Oh,
Yeah,
inspired all these different future careers for these different actors.
yep. Apparently,
That's,
Captain Marvel crossed paths with a xenomorph. Yeah,
yeah.
Billy
wow.
just sent me this.
Oh, thanks, Billy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And let's see. Oh yeah, there's one thing I wanted to mention about the what's also interesting about this film when they introduced as far as the xenomorphs was the lair, the hive, where they take all their victims and for the chest bursters, and also it's where the eggs are being laid. And
You.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty like crazy thing they introduced. Like, but the set design for that was just phenomenal. I mean, like a lot of
Mm,
we could tell a lot of work went into it. The resin on the walls and the like everything. And but you might be interested to know that the set that was filmed on was the later used a few years later to film the chemical factory scene in Batman.
oh.
Yeah, when
And I was
yes,
going to say
when
a lot of the stuff, like you just said, they built. I mean, it looks at times, yeah, gross, but it's really good. With how they put it all together. And that's the other thing too. Also with the design for the Queen
Yeah.
Xenomorph is that just you can imagine just all of the work that was put top that battery back. No, I have not lost. I have not kept losing. I still got yours. I still have the last one you gave me. So no, I have not lost any.
Typical
But
Nick.
anyways, I just love basically again, all of the work that was put into the design of the Queen Xenomorph, and yeah, and you can literally tell that it's not also just like your typical guy in costume in this
right.
case. You can clearly
Mm,
tell that this was being operated more. There was obvious. I mean, I heard that there was a couple people operating this. You could tell this was
yeah.
not being done by one person.
Oh, here I actually have the picture. I just pulled it up. There's the picture of that compares both the sets, the set of Aliens and the set of Batman when in the factory scenes.
This
Here,
is gonna be interesting.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
it's the same. If you look closely, the pipes at the ceiling are the same.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and but of course, the when Tim Burton and his crew got to that set a few years later to film the Batman scenes, uh, they that all that stuff that was still on the walls, that set was completely much not used since then, since
Mm,
Aliens. So I imagine that was fun to clean up.
Pretty much
yeah.
untouched.
Yeah,
I always
man.
think how cool it must be to be set designers back then,
Oh,
because they had such a team of like people doing very specialized things. And yeah, it would have been so cool to be part of that with the set design and the
And
props
now
and
so much of
everything.
it's done CGI.
I
That's what I was saying. Of
know.
course, nowadays it's all CGI or you put it on a green screen.
I
Right.
yeah.
know.
Oh, here I actually have another video that shows how they designed the Alien Queen's head.
Oh,
Oh,
let's
this I
see.
gotta see. I like to see this.
When you wet it up, it looks really glossy and nice. And from different lighting angles, it keeps with the contours, and there aren't any pits. There aren't a lot of pits in the film at all. I've got the jaw on here. I just threw some clay on just to get a general idea of this, just to make it look a little bit more complete. This isn't the exact length or height or any of that. It's just an idea, just to make it look long ahead. Started working out a lot of detail, like this and this, and it matches on the other side, of course. And then we've got all this taken care of. Jim and I decided on another structure for these to fit down into, like you see, like ridges here. for these to fit, like they follow through this way. These are still, they're almost finished, but I just need a little bit more touching up. I still need to do inside of here and this, but basically everything's pretty well blocked out. It's just detailing now. Done this back here, which is like a just detail sections here and here. We still have to work out with Jim what he wants with those etching lines. I don't really like the way it goes against all this. I think maybe we'll just have to change that. The top still has to, I still have to just do a bit more just detailing. The form is all done. That's all that's going on now. There's still a lot of other little surface details that may happen. Jim and
Yeah, so
That's
amazing.
incredible. I have to say, I really want to know what animal they've based it on because it looks like a horse's skull. I'm sure it's some kind of skull that he's based it on. I'm just going to have a look.
Well, when Dan O'Bannon originally wrote this, he got inspiration from these old books. We looked into went into this when we covered the first Alien movie. Hang on, let me look at the name of the book. Hang on.
It does have that in, and like what Anthony said, to see that praying mantis that look like Alien.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I was going to say from what I think it was Heather who said it earlier. I can really see now that insect-like trait to the queen, but it also kind of even has kind of a little bit of a skeletal kind of look to it.
Yeah, like if you Google a horse's skull, honestly, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, like skeletal and insect-like traits.
Yeah, it's kind of a fusion, isn't it?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
it almost seems to. I don't think they actually borrowed this from this. The supposed existence of real extraterrestrials, the insectoids that supposedly people have encountered. And to me, it almost had some of those traits in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this is inspired by concept art by H.R. Geiger. Yeah,
He's great.
Yeah,
with
like this.
what he does.
Oh yes.
I love the art that he makes, like not just for Alien, but many other monsters that he originally wrote. I mean, he does. He did I'm sorry, I forgot. He passed away over 10 years ago. He just really had an idea for what particular monster should look like, and to draw it all like that on paper, it was really well done. He was very talented artist.
Yeah, definitely.
He was. Oh yeah.
I didn't know he
So
was from Switzerland.
oh yeah, for sure. Picturing a hell of it would be filmmakers and crew, voice actors included, would include a cameo of Buffy and Scooby Doo and Zombie Outlet. Huh. That's actually not a bad idea. Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Scooby Doo. Yeah. Definitely better than.
Geiger must have had some skinny kids because when we were up in the far north of Queensland, my oldest was running around without a shirt on, and he sat down in front of me, so I was looking at his back, and I swear that the back, the spine, and his rib cage looked like one of the facehuggers.
Oh, the facehugger.
That's where he got the idea from.
Yeah, and speaking of facehuggers, I love all the serious work that went into the facehugger animatronics in this, like the puppeteering, like for the much more complex movements. Like they move around like spiders.
Yeah, they were more realistic than the original facehugger.
Totally.
Wow.
And the other thing too to make a quick note on was it's definitely one of the most notorious scenes is where Sigourney Weaver and the kid's character were trapped in the room with the one face hugger.
Oh,
it was just such kind of like a claustrophobic feel. Room, and the face hugger's trying to latch on to Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yep, Ripley.
To Ripley, excuse me.
Ripley, yeah.
They
Yeah,
moistly
and
communicate. Moistly.
oh yeah, yeah, Braxton. I commented about that when I first saw the trailer for Alien Romulus. Yeah, the facehuggers in that was insane. They were like seriously aggressive. And also, one thing that they did different with the chestbursters in this, they gave them like a little. They gave them arms.
Yep.
Yeah, compared to like the original film, because they wanted to like it to make sense with how they evolve into like the soldier aliens. Yeah, so it was nice that they added that little feature. Let's see. Oh, Kate, you said you've never seen this movie, right? Aliens.
I haven't, no. I have yet to see it.
If you can, definitely watch the extended version. And like it throws in like
Okay.
some extra scenes that really play a huge role in like as far as characters. Like there's a bonus. There was like one of the edit scenes was near the beginning where Burke was revealing to Ripley about what happened to her daughter while she was in hypersleep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
definitely. So the extended.
And then it also
Yeah.
shows a bit more on the planet where they just as they're getting the alien attacks, basically.
Okay.
Shows them actually finding the ship and coming back, and then you don't hear anything else.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
And oh, one other extra scene I liked involving Hudson was where they were trying to figure out who what was laying all these eggs, and Hudson was like, maybe it's like an ant hive or a beehive, where there was like all these soldier ants, and there's this one big ant that runs the whole show. And when I watched that extended cut and I saw that alien queen, because that's how I originally saw this movie, I saw the extended. I saw that alien queen, and I'm like, Hudson was right.
I remember
You would have
watching
thought it.
that scene, like when they actually approached the hive itself, close before the battles, like the actual battle scene between Ripley and the Queen. And we watched it down here, as a matter of fact. We saw this about 10 years ago. And it gave you that feeling almost like that you were actually there. And I just remember sitting there just watching. I'm like, oh my God, that's the Queen right there. And it's like, I'm just like the characters. I'm just like staring at the screen. My eyes are just big. And there was just something chilling just seeing her for the first time. And then when the drones started coming in, then she told them to pretty much tell them to back off when she had the flamethrower that she was going to
Right.
threaten to destroy her eggs. There was just something so well done and just so creepy about that scene. And the music,
Yeah.
that droning music that plays like that music that's playing.
Yeah, they did an amazing job with
Yeah.
the music in this. It was incredible. But yeah, Nick, that scene made me wonder if the Alien Queen communicates with other xenomorphs telepathically.
That's what I was wondering. Does she communicate through the screeches or roars that she makes, or is it telepathic communication she gets? Because you can really tell she's turning her head to where the warriors and drones are coming in, and they immediately
They back off.
they back off and take her orders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same in AVP too. That she does the same thing when she's chained up and orders them to basically knock the chains off. So
Not only that, she had the egg sac connected
yeah,
to her. So with that egg sac that she has, it obviously renders her to be unmovable unless she detaches herself from it, which, according to the Wikipedia page, that's actually in the xenomorph world, that actually is a very painful process. That's why you hear her screeching and roaring loudly, because it's painful to her. But
Right.
she knows what she's got to do, though. She has to, in a way, it's pretty much her sacrifice she's making, that she can no longer fully produce her eggs.
Yeah. I feel like that Futurama had parodied the Alien Queen in that Fry in the Slurm Factory, where it finally revealed
I love that. That's
where
one of my favorites.
yes, where they reveal in the end of where Slurm comes from, and it comes from like the Slurm Queen.
Yeah.
I feel like it was to some extent referencing aliens.
Is it? Honey comes from a bee's behind. Milk comes from a cow's behind. And have you ever found out where toothpaste comes from? Where does that come from? You don't want to know. I love that. That's my. I used to always watch that episode a lot. And
So did I.
sometimes
Mm.
my brother's annoyance, like, it's like, you're watching this again? I'm like, it's funny.
Here, Billy has a comment for you, Nick.
I
I'm just
never really
gonna
read.
grab a
I,
drink. One sec.
Okay.
okay. I never really read comic books for the most part. I mean, I've read more of the horror style ones, but I never really read, like Marvel comics or anything. I just cannot get into it. So no, I
These would
never
have
read
probably been the dark horse. And
it.
Billy, 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 did you know that they did a Terminator one too? Alien versus Terminator. Did
Oh
you?
my
Did you
god,
hear that one? Did you hear about that one?
that would be interesting. That would
Um,
be an interesting crossover.
It
yeah.
was.
Let's
It
see.
was
Still
definitely.
wondering. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right, Braxton. They never do introduce female Yautjas. Yeah, the predators.
That's another thing too. When you really think about, like, with the Queen and the warriors and drone, obviously her being the female, and then the drones and the warriors being obviously males. I actually was thinking for the longest time, saying, like, well, considering her size compared to them, like, how are they able to breed in
You'd
this case?
squish
But it
them.
obviously is clear they didn't need breeding. It's obvious she produces them asexually, you
Yep.
know, which makes a lot of sense. Which is no different than the case, like, which it borrows real elements when it comes to bees in this case, where the queen bee lays eggs and it's usually asexually. The drones, don't really do much, aside from mating every now
Okay.
and then, but it still borrows, like, how bees, produce their offspring.
Right.
Bees.
Bees.
Not the bees. Not the
I was just
bees.
waiting for that.
Yeah. Oh, and I like how. Yeah, we recently saw, like Nick. We recently saw Ready Player One, right? They did briefly mention the ship, the what was that, Sulaco
Yep,
from Aliens. Yeah, like it was in it was in there, like in the collection. Yeah, of
that's
ships that
right.
he had. Yes. So it's brief, but the reference is there. Yeah, gotta love Ready Player One.
Oh, that, yeah. What was that? A year ago, you showed me that.
Yeah, about
About a
there. Yeah.
year, 2 years. About a year, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah, Don
also
introduced it. Don introduced it to me, and I absolutely loved it.
yes, and so yeah, like when they land, it's like I love the way they film like these scenes, like where like with the Space Marines, because I just actually learned that some of those Space Marines were actually ex-military in real life.
Excuse me. Really?
Yeah, they were. And let's see, there was this. I should mention. There was this one actor who was in this, who was also in Shawshank Redemption. He played. Let's see, Boggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy that was doing some pretty sick things. And let's see, yeah, he was in this. He played Drake. Yeah, he was the one that that just so nearly made it out of that hive with the rest of the group.
I
But
thought I recognized that dude.
yeah,
Mhm.
he shot up where Vasquez shot up an alien next to him in close range, and the acid blood got on him.
Yep.
And then they went boom.
Yeah, I like the practical effects that they use on him for the burns.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just sometimes I think about the Alien versus Predator movies, and I'm just thinking, oh man, like this whole universe, it's like connected to like what we've seen in the Alien and Aliens movies. I'm just thinking about all the characters. I'm like, oh my god, this like this whole franchise is just went all over the place after Aliens.
I like how, since we've been talking about the Queen Xenomorph several times, I like again how they kind of, when you mentioned about Alien versus Predator, how they kind of paid homage to that in some way, with the Queen being the final antagonist for
Right.
Alien versus Predator, where the Predator fights her himself. And it just, but either way, when you look at both movies, it just goes to show how powerful she really truly is, even without the assistance of her drones and warriors. You could clearly tell she doesn't need at times uh, her lower ranking xenomorphs to assist her. She could basically fight herself with all she's got, because again, she's just very, for most you have no chance. You're no match to, basically a queen xenomorph that's like 10, 12 feet tall and has all these limbs and a powerful tail and acid blood and
Yeah.
sharp teeth, of course.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, here. Do you think the later Alien franchises are on par with the Terminator franchise? You mean the later installments? Yeah. I mean, after the second movie, it was all downhill from there, just like the Terminator movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. But but I should mention there, as far as the video games, there actually is a sequel to Alien that takes place before Aliens, and that's Alien Isolation, and that explores Ellen Ripley's, this Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley, who was like wondering who takes place 15 years after the events of Alien, and Amanda Ripley is wondering where her mom went. So she tries to search for the truth and comes across xenomorphs. And this game is like well known for its jump scares. Like you have to be like insanely stealthy to avoid the xenomorphs. Let me show you guys what happens if you lose at the game. Here,
Just quick question. Weren't they trying to make a movie on that based on that story,
they may have. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
or
Yeah,
if it's in the works?
yeah, yeah. Here it is, guys. Alien Isolation. Here.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to use some serious stealth to avoid a xenomorph. Yeah, and the AI that controls them is insane.
You know
Yeah.
what? I am such an idiot. I just realized that I have the game on Steam. It's available on Steam. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, seriously, it's been over 10 years now since that game came out.
I got it about like 2-3 years ago, and I also had to wait until one of the when they had the discounts to get it, which it was kind of an expensive game, but I was able to get it during one of the discounts. But I just have again, I've been so involved with so many projects done. I'm trying to get all these projects done before I get back to playing these games.
Is it
Hmm.
PC only?
The xenomorphs reproduce asexually through the queen, Braxton. She lays all the
Yep.
eggs without
He
limits,
said
it
that
seems.
before. What were
Yeah.
you saying,
Yeah.
Kate?
Is it PC only? What console is it?
Oh, you could play it on. I think they actually do have it on the Switch.
Oh,
Alien
okay.
Isolation. Yeah, I think you could play it just about anywhere.
Oh,
Like I
okay,
said, it's
cool.
also on Steam, so obviously since you have a Steam account, you could purchase it through there. Queen takes
Queen,
Bishop.
I love it. I've seen that meme. I love it. Yeah, yeah. We should mention Bishop. Lance Henriksen is in this film. Let's see.
Yep.
We mentioned before, Nick, that he was in Terminator and Piranha 2, both directed by Cameron.
And he was also in, like I talked to you about it before, Near Dark. And what else was he? Oh, he was in the sequel to The Omen. He's been in a lot. He was also in the Horror Show, which was a slasher movie from the late '80s. He was in a lot of movies. So
Yeah, the
um,
first.
he,
Yeah, the first. Oh, go ahead.
no, he was just in a lot. He was just in a lot. Oh, he was also in the Scream movies too. I forgot. He was almost like in
Scream
every
3.
Scream 3. Yeah, it's like he was just in everything. Any type of classic horror film that
And
you
and then
watch.
he played
Probably,
Wayland as the head of the company for Aliens, the Wayland Yutani.
Yeah, he
So
did.
yeah.
he was in that for AVP.
And you know
Yeah,
what's funny is that I don't think I ever told you guys, I actually met Lance Henriksen.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
I met him at
Wow.
Flashback Weekend here in Chicago, but that was over about almost 15 years ago that I got to meet him. And it was very quick. I didn't really get to have a chance much to talk with him. He just happened to be walking by. I'm like, oh my God, it's Lance. And my dad caught him and we got a quick picture together. And very nice guy though. He's like, he just says to me, thanks, kid, that kind of thing. Really nice guy.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
that's so cool.
cool.
Yeah. So again, he's another example of what you see in those movies and the interviews that he's in, that's pretty much what he's like in real life. He's very friendly, very open minded.
Nice. Yeah, the first movie
Oh,
that I've seen him in was when I was 7, when 1999 when we saw the Disney movie Tarzan. He was the voice of Kerchak.
Really? I didn't
Yep.
know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was him. Like looking back at that movie, yeah, the voice unmistakable. And once you hear that, he has a very distinctive voice. Like once you hear it, you know it's him.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I never knew that he was in really any Disney movie whatsoever. And Lance, as of right now, he is wow, he's 84 years old now.
Wow.
I also didn't realize he was in because again, I feel like I'm missing a few other films that he was in. Um, he was also in, apparently he was in an I guess he was in I don't know if it was just one episode or just for 1 year. He was also in the X Files in 1999.
I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised.
yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised either. He was in let's see, I think I heard of this one. Oh, Nightmares in 1983. Another one. Oh, good thing I checked. We forgot one other important one, Don. He was also in Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah, oh, and he was also in Alien 3 too in
He,
1992.
he was. He played two different characters. He played Bishop and also another character that was labeled as Bishop 2. Yeah. And what you might be interested in knowing is Alien 3, it's like I will go ahead and say this right off the bat. Alien 3 was just okay. Like a lot of people's opinion. Wait, did you like
Yeah.
it? Because some people hate it. I thought it was just all right. I have seen worse sequels, but I have seen better. But it was served as early work for let's see, David Fincher. You know what he made, right?
Yep.
Oh, he's done so many good movies. He's done, let's see, Seven. He has done Feast. Yeah, he directed Seven. He directed Fight Club. He directed Social Network, Gone Girl, Zodiac. Guy really made a name for
Wow.
himself. The guy
I
really made a
just
name for.
watched I
Yeah,
just watched part of 7 a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
It's a really good movie.
yeah. I mean, the guy really made a name for himself right after Alien 3. He really hit the ground running.
Hmm.
Some other movies that Lance Henriksen was also in. Actually, I did forget another. In addition to the two Alien movies that we were just talking about, he also even makes an appearance in Alien versus Predator. He was pretty much involved with the Alien franchise after he was in Aliens, and he was also in. Again, I'm not going to read all because there's just way too many movies. I'm just looking at the ones that I know I'm most familiar with. He was also in Abominable.
He
Um,
was.
oh, he was. Oh, yes, and that's right. Another movie he was in late 2000s. I didn't realize it was him at first, but he only appears at near the end of the movie. He was the passing motorist in Jennifer's Body. The
Oh,
guy that the guy that
yeah.
girl gets the guy that picks up the girl. That's Lance Henriksen. So yeah, he's been in a lot of movies like since his earliest movie that he was in. Well, wow, it was an uncredited role. Was back in 1961, a movie called The Outsider, which he played
Hmm.
the U.S. Marine, but he was uncredited. Then he didn't play another movie until 1972 with a movie called It Ain't Easy, and he didn't really. Oh, and also another movie. Ironically enough, it's another Alien movie that Lance Henriksen was in. Oh, we lost Joe.
Yeah, Joe
Joe,
had to go do something.
okay. Another movie that Lance Henriksen was also in, not a horror film, but still an alien movie, and this was in the late 70s, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
man.
was.
That guy's worked with everybody. Steven Spielberg, James Cameron. Man.
Yeah, he since 1961, he's been, and still to this day, he's still involved. I mean, even though he didn't really start until the 70s, he's still involved in movies to this day. Some of his upcoming movies that he's got is a film called, well, his most recent movie he did was called Altered Reality.
I didn't see that one.
He's going to be in some other TBA movies, movies called Awaken the Reaper, One Acre Beyond the Rye, And I guess he's also supposed to be in some documentary called Bring Me That. I guess there's going to be a documentary made about him. Bring Me the Head of Lance Henriksen. But get this, even though it's probably going to be released sometime in the future, apparently it says post production. This was filmed back in 2010. So it's taken like 15 years for this documentary to be released.
Wow. It's amazing what things go in development hell. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about Newt, when she was when they were like running through like escaping through the vents, and you know how like she slid down to the vent and got separated, and then but it turns out that Carrie Henn was repeatedly just messing up that scene because she wanted to keep on sliding down the vent. She just saw it as like a really long, really fun slide. But then James Cameron like realized this, and he just said, "You know what? Here, I'll make a deal with you. You give us this one take. You nail this take, and I'll let you slide down that as much as you want."
It's the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, it would if you have something like that that's so much fun. Would you not think? I mean, is that something you just can't resist?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, kids. Oh man, but like basically when I think about Ripley's relationship with Newt, like it really reminds me of Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, because both of them had a daughter who they ended up losing, and then ended up under see these circumstances with another kid who reminds them of their daughter, and then ends up becoming a surrogate parent to that girl.
That's right.
Yeah, like Joel was doing the exact same thing, only his was like a lot more tragic. His daughter, Sarah being killed right there at the beginning of The Last of Us, and then years later, meeting Ellie, having to transport her to the Fireflies to try to find a cure for the cordyceps that she's immune to. But then over that time, he accepted her as like his surrogate daughter.
Right.
Just like how Ripley accepted, like immediately bonded with Newt and just saw her as a surrogate daughter, and then like Newt at the end saw like Ripley as a surrogate mom, even said calling her mommy in the end.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So yeah, seriously, Kate, see this movie. It's incredible.
Yeah, I have to watch it, definitely.
I hate spoiling this for you. I hate spoiling.
As at time, and I'm just going to say this now. I mean, at times it does, it does get kind of gory, almost kind of similar to like how the original film was. But if you look at it it's still lesser. It's still lesser to a degree compared to the first movie, and if you also look at it carefully, it's still pretty scary. But in my personal opinion, Aliens I consider more of a sci-fi thriller than a horror film. I mean, there are still moments where it's pretty scary, but I still think of it more as actually I forgot one of their genre more as kind of more like thriller, sci-fi, and action.
Mm-hmm. I like thrillers, so that's good.
Yeah, it mixes several different genres, like action, horror, thriller, sci-fi. It really has elements from all those genres. So that's what I like about it.
And they still can't get the cornbread right.
that scene.
That's
where,
right.
Oh, I also love that scene where Bishop does the 5-figure fillet thing.
Oh yeah.
Is that with a knife?
If I was not worried about this video getting blocked by copyright, I would show you. I would play that for you right now. Like Hudson challenge, like she just gave Bishop a knife, say do the thing with the knife, and then put his hand on the table. Then the other guys who were having Hudson's hand put it on the table, and Bishop's hand on top of his hand, and Bishop said don't move, trust me, and then just did that knife thing between the fingers.
Oh, man. Did you guys not do that at school? We did that at school with pencils.
Oh, thank God I didn't.
Yeah, I got hurt loads.
Oh my! I've never done that. I've never done that
with a sharp pencil. Oh my gosh! Yeah,
you can tell that scene. You can tell that scene because it's Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen, who in reality, actually were real. That look on his face. That's the closest thing we could show, but you could tell because Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen, were actually really good friends. out, within the movie, within the film studio. Again, when we were talking about all these different movies that they started, a year later, Lance Henriksen and Bill Paxton co-starred again in Near Dark, the Western vampire movie, and of course, also in not necessarily together, but in Terminator as well. So they've kind of co-starred. So you can tell it's not only the co-starring of movies. You could tell they were friends in real life, and I'm sure when they were shooting that scene, they must probably in reality they were having a hell of a time shooting that.
Oh yeah, I should mention the scene where it first introduces all the Marines and and Bishop and everybody. That was the last thing that they filmed together because they wanted to make the relationship that the characters had seem very genuine because the way these actors worked together for months and months, to get this film done. So during that time they had bonded, and so when they play the characters like in that scene where they're introduced, it's all the more genuine. So
Yeah,
yeah, I thought that
definitely.
was a good strategy. Oh, and Kate, you did mention some pencil in grade school, right? Getting prayed by pencil, doing that.
Yes.
I have never done the five finger fillet thing, but I actually did get jabbed by a pencil, like when I was reaching into my backpack for something, and pencil lead
Oh
broke off into
no.
my middle finger, and
Oh,
and to this day, I don't know if you can see it, but that pencil lead is still there.
oh
No
my God!
way.
You never told me that, Don.
Are
Yeah.
you not like supposed to get rid of that
I
in
mean, it doesn't.
hospital?
I don't feel anything. It doesn't. There's no pain or anything. Like I don't feel like any lumps. I think it's just like powder. I think it
Okay.
was like kind of powdery, but
The only
Oh.
closest thing that I've
Now,
ever
it's graphic graphite. Mm.
yeah,
the
but
closest thing that I've ever done to something like that, not from a
Ouch.
game,
no
thankfully,
big
this
deal.
was backed by accident, was I once actually back in middle school.
Yeah.
I think it was this finger, but I accidentally touched my finger on a soldering iron. Yeah, and I'm telling
Man.
you, I could still. You
Oh
talk
my
about pain,
goodness.
and like I almost screamed bloody murder. It was a
Oh,
stupid choice I was making. I was in a tech class, and long story short, what I always did a lot whenever I used a soldering iron was to make sure, like, to know if it was actually hot.
right.
I would sometimes like take like put my finger in a cup of water and drop it. Just get the make sure it was hot. Well, on this particular occasion, it didn't do that.
Hmm.
So I thought to myself, well, apparently I guess it's not working correctly, and so I decided to just give a quick touch. And before I even knew it, I screamed bloody murder, and I had to run over to the sink to put a lot of cold water, and then I had to go right to the nurse's office after that.
Yeah. That,
Surprisingly, I could still. It
Oh
wasn't even really a
no.
burn. It actually created more like a blister than a
oh,
burn itself. But I'm telling you guys, it was painful as shit. It was. It
Yeah.
was bad. I mean, probably
ne-
the first 2-3 days after that were the worst, and I knew then never to do that again.
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Never ever touch a soldering iron.
No. I was gonna say I could speak it from my experience. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do that again. So yeah, it's bad. You
Yeah.
don't want one of those things touching you.
Right.
It's
Oh.
in other words, trust me. If you do, you will be sorry.
Yeah. And one thing I forgot to mention about Ripley, she was actually advertising Reebok in this.
Oh, Reebok.
Oh.
Yeah, here, let me show you. I actually pulled up the picture. Yeah. So I when I watch this movie, I'm thinking, "Hey Ripley, what are those?"
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Check those out.
Yeah, I was just looking at at this and I'm just like, is this what Reebok is going to be like in the future?
That is the most 80s footwear I've ever seen.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Wow.
let's. Yeah, here. Let me look up the year. Hang on. Let me look up the exact year when this movie comes out.
Unlike I forgot to
In
mention,
what year?
unlike
Let's
you,
see.
I
Oh,
was gonna
here.
say, not to mention, unlike you, Don, surprisingly, I never did get a scar from that soldering iron, so I don't have any evidence of it anymore.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I got you.
Mm.
Oh, here. Alien says takes place in the year 2179. So
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
just about
So
over
yeah, that's what Reeboks will look like then.
no, that's just about 160 years away.
Yeah. Hey, we could always go into hypersleep and wait and see if it's right.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I just realized this, and I'm actually speaking about this for my niece. Not, I'm going to make this real quick, but did you guys hear there's been a movie that's been made that's supposed to star John Malkovich? It's called 100 Years, and it actually is living up to the title. It was made 10 years ago in 2015, and its scheduled release will not be until November of 2115. And so, and literally the tagline is the movie you will never see. It's directed by Robert Rodriguez. And
Wow.
Robert Rodriguez made that?
yeah, Robert Rodriguez directed it. John Malkovich is in it. They're keeping the entire plot a secret. It's supposed to star like a huge ensemble cast, and according where that movie is right now, it's literally like in a bulletproof glass like safe that is set like that is literally locked and will not be opening until that day of the premiere. And
Wow.
obviously, yep, there it is. There's a poster of it, but that's in 3 teaser trailers, but that's it. You can't see
Okay.
anything else about this movie. And so I just think to myself, I wonder how things would look in 2115 when that movie.
Mm,
And not only that, I realized, like I said, I was speaking out for my niece. I thought to myself, you know, Madeline might actually still be around to see that movie come out because I kind of calculate like how old she would be by then because she was born almost 2 years ago now. In 2015, she will be 92 years old. She's still alive then. She'll be a grandmother then or
Oh man,
great grandmother.
most of us will be lucky to live past 85. Like that's the
yeah.
Well,
average.
yeah, but there's a lot more people now living into their 90s, so
Oh yeah,
that's
I mean, people are living longer than they used to. So I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, wouldn't surprise me, but she'll be 92 years old if she's still alive in November of 2115. We won't be around, sadly, but she will. So she might be able to see
Okay.
that movie.
Yeah, that's crazy that they made that.
Yeah,
And they
amazing.
already said,
Hey, Leon.
because people are thinking, well, how is there going to be like a special premiere like party or whatever the case is? Because everybody's going to be dead by then.
Exactly.
They've
Yeah.
already created like these like they sent like 2 invitations like made out steel, like literally made out of steel, and that these ticket and invitations are going to be sent to the cast and crew's descendants. So their descendants are going to basically be the ones that are going to host, have the celebration, have the party after this movie comes out. And if that's not enough, they have a song that that has also been made in association with the movie, and that
Wow.
song is not going to be released until 2 years after the movie. It's not supposed to be released until 2117. Also called 100 Years, and it's said to have been composed by Pharrell Williams. It has been performed live once at a private party, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's not going to be released either until 2117. So talk about future stuff. It
Oh here,
just reminded me of that.
oh here. Thomas says Alien was in. Yes, so the xenomorph was in Mortal Kombat 10. Yeah, like
Yep.
the story in that is like, but it looks different in this. It has the teeth of this character Baraka.
No Baraka.
Yeah, here. Let me like. I'm guessing you. You probably know about Baraka, Nick. But here, let me just show a picture of you guys to give some context. Yeah, he's one of the more freaky looking characters
Cute.
in Mortal Kombat. Here, I hate when it does this. You have to like go back to there he is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Ooh,
that'll- yeah. You think that's freaky? Here, let me show you what he looked like. Yeah, like hey, the way they made the alien in that to like give it that design. Here, let me hear alien more. Here's what I should have done. I should have showed you the picture of what the alien looked like in that. Hang on. Okay, here it is.
Acidic combo guide.
Yep, he is. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Look off like those moves in Mortal Kombat is insane. Here, this is what it looked like, and it has like the teeth of Baraka.
It's
'Cause-
also more
Oh,
kind of more muscular.
yeah, because
oh
that's the thing.
yeah.
The alien, when they become something, it's based on like the traits of the host.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I will say this: it definitely looks better than what Baraka looked like in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I hate that movie so much. Here,
Mm.
let me show you what.
Oh,
Let me just to give you guys an idea. Here, oh my god,
oh
yeah,
my
that's
Oh
God.
it.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's like I'm like that's not Baraka. I'm wondering if that thing ended up in this movie after it wandered away from either the set of Power Rangers or the Goosebumps TV show.
I actually thought he kind of looked a little bit almost like a combination of Nosferatu and the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Whatever it is.
Almost more vampiric, if anything.
Yeah, how's it going, Spider-Man
Mm.
DJ? Yeah.
Is
It's
that
like
a new viewer,
Venom.
or have you had him on? Have we seen him before?
No, I hate Mortal Kombat. I'm with you, Thomas. I hated that movie when I first saw it as a kid. I still hate it now. I mean, the first 5 minutes alone made me hate it.
Didn't they do a remake like 5 years ago?
They did of Mortal Kombat. It was
I
on.
don't really remember it.
Yeah, it was on HBO Max.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can't have been that good because I would have remembered it.
well, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely did the characters better justice than than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
real.
remember it. Weird.
Every
Yeah.
time I think of Mortal,
Oh
every
my
time
God.
I think of Mortal Kombat, I'm just gonna say that it still reminds me of the time when I played that game, and I actually had a kid beat me at that game, and we're talking like was at a party. In fact, it was at one of Rochelle's gatherings, and one of her guests had brought his kids with, and I'm talking little kids, like we're talking about a kid who's like only 7, 8 years old, which Mortal Kombat really isn't supposed to be a game for kids,
Nope.
but he I'm not even joking. He literally beat the shit out of me in this game. Like, how is this even possible? You're like 7 or 8, and it's like, I can't believe this.
Oh, here, Spider-Man DJ. I like your Home Alone videos with the health bars. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy doing Home Alone videos. I'm actually going to be doing another one real soon from a. It's involving this channel that I've loved since the beginning of YouTube. Yeah, like I don't want to give it away the surprise, but it's something I'm looking forward to doing. Yeah, I'm overdue for another reaction to Home Alone content, so I'm doing something different.
I still think of the time when we stopped at that, when we actually visited the house a year ago, Don. Remember when we did?
Yes, the Home Alone house. I bet
I
we've been there.
still want to go. I have to go.
You need
I
to.
really need to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
when, yeah, when the weather clear, like when it gets warmer out there, yeah, we'll definitely head up to Winnetka and check it out. You know,
Yeah.
because remember that house is up for sale again. So if you happen to have, if you happen to have $5.2 million laying around, you could buy it.
Let me
I think
check.
it was,
No.
I think it was just recently sold again, actually.
Oh, did they?
Oh, did it sell?
My brother told me the other day that apparently, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh.
That's what I heard from him, but I think it just recently sold for like,
I'll have to look into it.
it was obviously well over $200,000. I don't remember exactly what it was, but whoever, if it was whoever paid for it, they obviously had to pay a fortune
They
to
did.
to
Yeah,
get it.
it was on the market for 5.2 million.
Yeah, it was.
Whoa.
Oh, actually, no. It says here it was sold. Wow. Okay, so I definitely was incorrect on the price.
Yeah, I was
So,
about to say it wasn't worth $100,000.
no. I thought it was a couple $100,000. No, I
No, it wasn't.
definitely sold for $5.5 million.
Oh, they paid a bit more than okay.
Wow.
Way more, $5.5 million. Those people have to be hell
I
rich.
wonder who it is.
Yeah.
I wonder who bought it.
Well, for a while, Macaulay Culkin was considering buying it, just for fun, but he had a lot going on in his life, so he couldn't.
Yeah.
But I'm sure this won't stop the visitations, like for people to check it out. But I still remember when Don and I went there. Obviously, we went during the holiday season, and I remember we were trying to do videos and pictures, and there was like obviously other people there, at the fence.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got our pictures and videos at the right place, at the right time. And literally, when we literally walked back to the car, that's when it started really packing. And Don didn't see it at first. I'm like, Don, good thing we got those videos and photos. He's like, what do you mean? Why? He's like, look. When we look back, and there's like 30 or 40 people out in the front of the house.
It's a huge tourist attraction, especially in December.
Yeah, it was. You definitely, your best time to see it obviously is, either early in the day or outside the Christmas season.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, like, I know, like, it's like, yeah, that place it's just insane. Like, the kind of legacy behind that house, it's incredible. But
It's an old house too. It's a historic house. It was built back in the 1920s.
I believe it.
It's also of historic significance.
That it is. So to sum it up, Aliens, one of the best sequels of all time. Definitely check it out. Yeah, that means you, Kate. Check it out, please. You'll love it.
So I hope everything's okay because she shut her camera and muted her mic. Hopefully everything's okay with her.
That's okay. It's probably here.
Sorry, guys. I have to go. My daughter's not very well.
Oh,
is she all right?
Yeah, she's got a really bad fever. I have to go give her some medicine.
Oh, this okay. This weather's taking a toll on everybody.
Yeah, it is. I'll keep you posted though. But yeah,
hope she gets better soon.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Take care, Kate.
Take care, Kate.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
So, well, hopefully she'll pull through real soon.
I also want to give a shout out, and this is someone who's actually been a viewer of our shows. Robert, you're going to know exactly. I think you actually reacted to it earlier. It's Chanel Fletcher.
Yes.
I just want to give a shout out for Chanel too, because I think she's in the emergency room, if I'm thinking correctly.
She's got to get back home. Yeah, hasn't got it right.
Oh man.
Yeah, she's going through a really rough time right now, which I feel terrible for her. So yeah, she just posted an hour ago, no ride home. So I just want, hopefully she feels better soon. She gets back home. So I just want to say, Chanel, we're thinking of you. We're praying for for your healing, and hopefully you'll get a ride back home soon. So
yes,
we can see you again. So we're sorry what you're going through, but we are thinking about you.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Tom, Kate is the mom. She's got a daughter.
Yes. Yeah, she and her. Yeah, we've had them over at my place for a Christmas party to celebrate Nick's recovery from those 2 brain bleeds. Yeah, it was Kate, her husband Dillup, and their daughter Emily. Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, they've been over in first time we met them in person was over here. So now almost a year ago. Jeez, can't believe it was back in February. It was like a birthday celebration too. So jeez, can't believe it's already been a year. It's gone by so quick. Oh, and also one other thing too. I did see a neurologist yesterday.
Oh,
and they too are just as puzzled as everybody else. Just like everyone else, they still don't know what could have caused the brain bleeds. They did say that they don't see any evidence of like even dried blood in my head as a result. I mean, they did tell me there's going to be it's not going to be permanent, but there is still some evidence of like some scarring from the brain bleeds, because understandably it's not like when you get like a simple paper cut on your skin and then it heals up and it disappears after a period of days. When it comes to your brain, that's like the most fragile part of your body. So understandably, it takes a lot longer for it to heal and clear up. So I was really nervous because some people were asking me, like, oh, the flashing lights, could that have had something to do with it? And I was very nervous that was I not going to start using my lights again, for my holidays, or was I going to have to limit myself? I was fortunate. The neurologist said that shouldn't be an issue. So I could still do my lights, be around them as long as I want to. And it's not just for myself. It's for anybody. Like, it should not cause a brain bleed or any type of injury to the brain. It might be bad for your eyes, but I think I know better than to stare into them. So that is something I don't have to worry about anymore.
That's great.
Well, that's kind of like with me with my left eye at the moment with getting the jabs into it, because they're putting the same sort of treatment that they use for cancer patients into my eye to try and get the blood out, because I had a vitriol bleed about 4 months now ago,
Oh, okay.
and it sort of affected my vision. And so I went in and they did a ultrasound on the eye and found where the bleed came from, and so they've been jabbing my eye. They've given me 3 jabs so far, and this will be the 4th one on Friday. And
Oh
about
boy.
a week and a bit back, they did laser surgery to try and clear up some of the blood in there. 500 zaps later,
Oh,
where you
does,
said where you're
I'm
told not
assuming
to
they
look at
knocked you
lasers.
unconscious. I'm assuming they knock you unconscious for it, right?
No, it was all
Oh
done
God.
while I was awake. Yeah, the zap, 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 zap.
Oh
Does
man.
it does it hurt, or do they numb it
It,
in any
it,
way?
do- they sort of numb the eye because they got to stick a lens on there for the laser to shoot into and get the certain areas. But
Okay.
when they got closer to the middle, it sort of started hurting. So I said, "Ow!"
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yikes.
yeah. I feel about iffy about like the idea of me getting like I'm just. I mean, I don't think I will ever need a laser surgery, but if it comes to that, after seeing that one scene in Final Destination 5, I feel iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's I can't even imagine. I mean, what it's got to feel like, but at least in my but yeah, at least in my situation, I didn't have to worry about certain other things. And they also did tell me too to give also another important part of this update is the chances of something like this happening again are very very slim.
yeah,
They also have told me keep up with the exercise. So again,
Yep.
that's another reason why it took me a few minutes to come on tonight because I had to
Mhm.
keep up with it. Which I'm back to. I did gain a few pounds because we celebrated my niece's birthday a few days ago, but
Yeah.
I still kept up with the exercise and I'm back to where I was. I'm back to 265. So even though I wish it could have still been lesser, I just thought to myself, oh well, it's good to be back. So now I can carry. I
Continue
can
on.
carry on from where I left
Oh,
off.
Nick, I just got an update from Joe. He had to sign off of this podcast because he had to go help his son. His son's car got stalled.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I
oh
saw. I
man,
hope he's okay
out in
with it.
this below zero
Really?
weather, bad situation.
Ooh,
Yeah,
very
that
bad.
is something I'm really concerned about. Like, especially because it's already well over zero below over here. It's like right now it's -2, but it feels like -12.
Oh man, yeah, because
So that's dead
yeah,
warm.
because me when I go out, I'm bundled up in my because my coat has thermal fabric on it, so it like absorbs and preserves body heat. And also been taking like a thermos full of hot chocolate like whenever I go to work. So
Yeah.
I had to go
Well,
to work this morning when it was so cold out, but I
me
took
too.
an Uber this time. But thankfully, since I took an Uber, the car was heated up, but I did have to go to I had to work in the back of the building at times, so it was
Oh
and there's
man,
no air conditioning, there's no heat, so I spent no more than like maybe a minute, 2 minutes at most at a time working. And if that's not bad enough, I had to sometimes because I work in the frozen department. That meant I had to go in the freezer a few times.
oh
And
man,
again, I spent no more than a minute. I had my coat on, I had heavy gloves on, had a hat, but
yeah.
it was no
yeah,
more than a minute, 2 minutes. I literally almost ran through all
yeah.
this stuff.
Hopefully this Arctic wind chill that we've been getting for the past couple of days. Hopefully after this week, we won't have to deal with another one for a long time.
Well, I
So,
know
but
it's supposed to warm up.
but as far as this podcast goes, Aliens. If you haven't seen
Yeah,
it, if you haven't seen Aliens, you're missing out. This is one of the best
Yes, Kate.
sequels. Yeah, this is one of the best sequels of all time. Seriously, like this is one of my favorite sequels. Like I could rewatch. Seriously, I would never get tired of this movie.
let's
Yeah,
not forget one other famous line from that movie. I gotta say, because anybody who's trying to
yeah,
be a threat or something, I wouldn't hesitate to say,
Li-
"Get away from
li-
her, you bitch."
yeah. Best line of the whole movie.
That is just I don't know what it is, but it's just such a kick-ass line. And I think in a way, when you really look at it, I think in a way it's like it just goes to show that even no matter if it's an alien or whatever, females can be just as females can just be as bad as the guys are.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's what I
It's
love
not
about.
worse.
That's what I love about Sigourney Weaver's like the way she played Ripley. Like she's like aliens not real. They're yeah. Wait, but but we're talking about the sequel to Aliens, because there's more than one in
Yep.
this. Yeah, but yeah. So like I love all the Sigourney Weaver just plays a strong female lead, because it wasn't until like like the late 1970s when we've seen like more of that. It's like this, like it started becoming more and more common throughout the 80s. Yeah, like strong female leads in action movies and horror movies. It's just amazing. And
Well,
Ripley is one of my favorites as far as horror movie characters. Yeah.
even Ripley in a way, even though this is not a slasher franchise,
Mm-hmm.
she still kind of echoes that element of the final girl like you see in the slasher movies, because a lot of times, a lot of the other, especially the first Alien, everybody died except her, which left her to deal with. She obviously was the most intelligent. She was kind of the fighter. She
Mhm.
knew basically a lot more than the rest of her crew did, and she took it down. And that's what you see in a lot of these slasher movies, is that one girl that doesn't participate, who's the more serious character, that doesn't participate in the sex and the drugs and the alcohol and the troublesome stuff, is the one who's going to defeat the killer.
Right.
Ripley has that similar characteristic to it.
That's right. She definitely does. Oh man, yeah, and also like when she goes to get newts, duct taping the pulse rifle with the flamethrower together was amazing touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow. It's kind of like in if you ever play with one of the Dead Rising games where you do combo weapons. That's what she did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, Nick, you haven't played the Dead Rising games. Well, it was introduced in Dead Rising 2. You can create combo weapons, like from something simple as a spiked bat to creating like a lightsaber with a flashlight and gems.
When you said spiked bat, I just immediately thought of Lucille from from Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Or in the third game, Dead Rising 3, you can actually create like a machine gun that fires in 3 different directions by combining a assault rifle with a lead pipe.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
It's called a split shot. And or what about elemental staff you create with a street lamp, like or a street or no street like one of those the street lights, like the green, yellow, and red. Yeah, one of those last signs. You could use that and combine it to fire electricity, fire ice blasts, fire fireballs. Use that. That's my favorite thing to create. It takes down the zombies like it's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, seriously, combo weapons are the best thing ever.
I really got to start getting more into Dead Rising.
You should. It's awesome. Hey,
It's on Steam,
I have
right?
hey not I don't maybe I don't I never looked it
I'll
up.
have, I'll have to check.
Hey, I got the games here, so anytime.
Aliens are from the movies, and there's shit. Well, you'd be surprised, especially with all these UFO reports we've been getting.
Yep, the truth is out there.
Yeah, that's very true. And I've had a UFO encounter, but that's gonna be for another show. But yeah, I've actually had a UFO sighting back when I was in high school.
Have you seen the advertisements they've been putting out to try and sell us on the redo of X-Files coming back?
Oh,
No, I didn't know. I didn't know it was
No,
coming.
I don't know if it's real or not, but they've aged them both, and the ad for it looks fake. So I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, I hate when people create fake ads.
Yeah, I know they did one. I know they did the reboot 10 years ago, but I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Alien versus Predator, right, Nikki?
Yeah, Alien versus Predator. Yes, I mean, Alien versus Predator. Hi guys, good show tonight. Oh, thanks,
Oh, Kathy.
Oh yeah, that's that's my mom.
I was gonna say, isn't that your mom?
Yes. Yeah, she had like a lot of my family watch the show as well. Even though
That's awesome.
even though my mom hates horror, she still watches.
Always good way, one way or another, to give support.
Yeah, my sisters watch, my brother-in-law watches, my cousins watch. Yeah, my uncle watches. Yeah, like all sorts of people. Yeah, so gotta love the support of family. So
Yeah, I really have. Most of my family doesn't watch, but they're busy. I understand.
yeah. So yes, Aliens, one of the best sequels of all time. The kind of thing it's like basically James Cameron took everything about Alien and multiplied it a couple of times over. Like it's funny, like he introduced action, he introduced the concept of space marines, which were later used in other sci-fi franchises like Halo, Starship Troopers. Oh yeah, like the list goes on.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a movie that I could go on all night talking about. It's just such a good movie to watch.
And I got another good movie for us next week.
What do we got?
Next week, we are going to be covering Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And again, some people may. I'll say this also for next week, but I mean, in a way, people don't necessarily look at Jurassic Park as a horror movie, but it does kind of have some partial horror elements to it in some way, shape, or form. In fact, I know we still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, Thomas is excited.
It was even featured on the 100 Scariest Movie Moments documentary. So in a way, it is kind of it is kind of a, even though it's more adventure, it is still kind of a horror movie in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it depicts. It's like there's been a debate for years and years and years now as to whether or not Jurassic Park is in fact horror. But I will still count it because it has dinosaurs killing people, and pretty graphic ways. But they get really graphic in the book, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Seriously, like the stuff. Like I was shocked when I first read this, but we'll get into that next week when we talk about the movie.
So we start talking about the Velociraptor.
Oh, the Velociraptor.
Nice. Oh, man. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And then that'll be it for this edition of the FearFans podcast. Be sure to join us next week when we cover Jurassic Park. Yeah, because lots of people might ask for us for this, but so now we're giving it to you. So
I'm just thinking of that